Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. In today's video what I want to do is review a little niche game called Teardown. Now Teardown is an early access Steam game. You can currently buy it for I think £18, so you know, just under 20 quid. A little bit expensive for an early access game with not a great deal of content, but this game is incredibly unique, and yeah, as I say, today I want to talk about it a little bit and give my 2 cents on it. So first and foremost, I followed this game since it was early concept on Twitter. It was initially made by one Swedish guy called like Dennis Gustafsson, like something really fucking Swedish, and I followed this game until it came out, and I obviously supported it on release. So you know, I have quite a intimate relationship with this game in like a non-sexual but kind of sexual way as well. So the game is essentially a voxel based destruction simulator. This game has some incredible fucking destruction. I've genuinely never seen something come this close to realism, but you know, also fun. This game is hella demanding, as you can imagine. There's a hell of a lot of physics on the go, and this shit will tank your frame rate, so you need like a fairly solid computer in order to enjoy this game. It has some crazy, you know, volumetric smoke which interacts with the environment. It has buoyancy physics. It has like literally anything you can think of. It's crazy, and I really hope that Battlefield or some kind of, you know, bigger game adopts this style of destruction, because it's fucking incredible. Anyway, so Teardown is kind of broken up into a variety of different game modes, as you will. There is initially a campaign which you actually have to play in order to unlock some of the levels in Sandbox, and also to unlock some of the tools like I don't know, a shotgun, a missile launcher, a bomb, or whatever. You know, the campaign has a purpose. You have to play it technically to unlock the content, which is kind of a gripe, but I'll get onto that in a second. The campaign initially starts out with just like blowing up buildings and shit, which I think is really cool, and I wish there was more of that. But eventually it kind of diverges into this time trial thing where you have to, you know, utilize the destruction of the map in order to plot a route in order to pick up 5 or so objectives under a time limit. You pick up one objective and starts a minute timer. You have to pick up the rest and make it to an evacuation point. And this goes across, it varies a little bit, you know, depends on the map. Sometimes there's different objectives, but for the most part, that's the campaign. It's time trials. And that's my first gripe with Teardown, really, is I'm not a fan of time trials. You know, I hate time pressure. I'm really not a fan of it in real life, and in video games it's always made my balls feel kind of weird. So like, I wouldn't really want to play a game which is exclusively time trials. For that reason, and this is just my opinion, the campaign of Teardown isn't really that great, and it was actually so painful for me to play that I didn't even complete it. I had to go on YouTube, find a video on how to literally edit my save file in order to say I completed the game, in order to get all of the maps and all of the tools, because like, I'm not a fan of that. I don't want to fuck around with time trials. It's a bit annoying that a lot of the content is cut off, but there's obviously other ways of going about that. So you know, that's the first thing I will say, is that time trials they're not really a big thing for me. I'm not really a fan of them, but that's just me. Other than the campaign though, you have challenges, and you have 2 of these. The first one is where you're essentially doing the same kind of thing. You're picking up objectives across a map, but in the process you're getting chased by a helicopter, and this helicopter is able to fire bullets, it's able to fire missiles, and when you get halfway through, another helicopter turns up and literally makes your life live in hell. I fucking loved this, and I played the most amount of this, and I think I liked it the most because something was chasing you. I know I just said that I hate pressure, and I also hate being chased, but the idea of kind of hiding and being a bit sneaky about things, it allows the strategy of the kind of base game to exist, but on a much more interesting level, at least to me. It also made some really fucking cool dynamic gameplay, because you know, obviously this game is incredibly destructive, and say if something catches on fire, you know, the rest of the wood in the building will start to catch on fire, walls will collapse, floors will collapse, and say a helicopter was chasing me and it blew a hole in the building, it managed to catch fire, then the whole building came on fire, and then when an objective went back in that house, I had to kind of jump around the fire and make different routes. Like, it's very dynamic, and the helicopter challenge really does utilize the destruction of Teardown, but not in a way where you're just kind of fucking around with it. It has more of a gameplay purpose, which I know exists in time trials, but having this shit like kind of change how you go about it, and you know, constantly being chased, and there's loads of dynamic shit, like, it's cool. It's really cool. I really fucking rated that. The other one is like a Saints Row style mayhem thing. You just have to blow shit up in the amount of time which you complete it. It's really not that great, but yeah, the helicopter one's sick. And then finally you have Sandbox, and Sandbox is where you can can just fuck around with unlimited ammo, you know, look at the destruction, play about and do all that kind of shit. So yeah, that's kind of the game to a T. There's really not that much else, and the annoying part about it is that this game really suffers from what I consider an amazing core, an amazing foundation, but not a great game. I feel like Teardown, if it was say like a really small scale first person tactical multiplayer shooter, maybe something like Rainbow Six Siege, you know, where you can utilize this destruction, where this destruction kind of plays into the gameplay, especially with other players, that shit would blow up and people would like that a hell of a lot more than just kind of dancing around and picking up items with a time limit. So that's what I will say about Teardown, is that more often than not, when I'm playing it, especially in sandbox, you know, I'm pretending like I'm in gunfights with people. I have my gun out, I'm shooting up bits of the wall, pretending like shit's happening, and like if the game could be that, fuck me, like I'd bang it and it would be so popular. The game also has Steam Workshop support for things like custom maps. Like I played Dust 2, which is kind of cool, but the custom maps don't really do anything. They're really just environments to test destruction. There's no kind of gameplay with them. They don't apply to like the time trials or the challenges or whatever. There's also, you know, custom guns, a couple like gameplay things, you know, wave defenses, whatever. But Steam Workshop support's nice, and there's a built-in level editor if you want to create content for the game. So that's good, and that adds more content to the game for sure. Other than that though, that's kind of Teardown. You know, it's a game which is incredibly unique. Like I've never played a game this fucking cool, and I promise you, if you're in the mood for playing around with physics and just blowing shit up, venting a bit of stress which is built up from putting off your university work until it's due in 6 days and you don't have a fucking clue what it's about and you're stressed, you know, you hop on Teardown, you blow some shit up. It's a nice bit of catharsis really. But that's the problem with Teardown. It's so specific, you can't really play it for more than like an hour or so. So if more were to be done with it, then like that would make me a very happy woman for sure. Yeah, Teardown would get like a solid 7. You know, it's a bit expensive considering the content, but there's something truly special here which I hope gets developed upon.
Wow, it's very nice.
Alright guys, just about sums it up. Cheers for watching. If you enjoyed, leave a like on it, and catch you in the next one.